Hey guys, Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be reacting to Dragon Ball GT's Dangerous 100 Years Time Skip ending by Sane Scholar. Now I have reacted to all of his other, GT power scaling videos from the Black Star Dragon arc all the way to the ending of the Shadow Dragons arc. And he also added on this one where he's talking about the 100-year time skip ending, I think it's the movie, and talking about basically Goku, what happened to him after the 100 years when he left with Shenron. I've watched all of them and stuff. Like I said, this is going to be the last one of this GT series. The next videos of his that I would react to are going to be the newer ones that he's going to be dropping out, like, the Goku Black one. But yeah, I'm going to be only reacting to his those ones, and when he's done with that, I'll possibly stop reacting to Sane Scholar and start making other videos. So yeah, this should be my last one from his GT one, and then his newer ones that drop out, I'm going to be finishing those, and after I'm done with those, then I'm just going to be going back to my regular content of, just making YouTube videos, or probably reacting to somebody else, like possibly, Death Battle or Imaginary Axis. So yeah, let's get into this.
100-year time skip Goku, or what you will be referring to him as after this video, Dragon God Goku. We've come a long way, but now we are finally here, and I want to give you all of the information that may make End of GT Goku a 5D character in terms of power and abilities. That is something we will determine by the end of this video, so do watch the
I thought he said he was ready I thought his whole argument throughout this, series prior to this one was he mentioned that he was 5D in those ones. So now he's saying his most powerful iteration of him, where he's basically like an immortal being and considering him a god. Now he's saying he's 5D, but he had all his other versions. He stated that in the other ones too, but now he's saying it again. It's kind of contradictory.
A whole video to understand why I've made certain decisions about his power using the information. He may indeed have the power to blink and wipe away the competition. So without any further delay, let's analyze the potential power of Dragon God.
He hasn't shown anything anywhere near Beerus's level.
Power scale series with the largest level of power. We see him in the final half of Dragon Ball GT episode 64 and for a couple of minutes during the GT special ending. Now Goku was able to inform everybody, Vegeta, Piccolo, Roshi, about his new godly presence without even speaking, or just through a handshake. Goku, are you? They knew. And the narration was informing us he was something else entirely, not just your average Earth's Guardian or Supreme Kai.
I don't think they were trying to hint at him being a godly being. They never stated anything like that. Even in the guides, I think what they're hinting at is when they said, are you? They meant, are you leaving? They kind of felt and knew that, he did everything he could, he fixed the problem, and now he realizes that he has to leave. So I think it's he's misconstruing what was being shown there. It wasn't them saying, are you a god? Did you reach godlyhood and stuff like that? Are you divine or whatever? I think what they're basically stating is, are you leaving? Are you going to be gone for good? Because they've known him for years. They're good friends with Goku. So for him to be leaving is going to be a big part of their life missing. So Goku leaving that, he left for forever until they died, So it's like, to them, it's a big deal. And it makes sense, So I think it was more of the case of they're wondering, is he leaving for good? Or in that instead of, are you a godly being or did you reach godhood? Because why would they care about that?
They've been watered down through the series. Goku's entire being had converted to the highest level in Dragon Ball, or in GT's continuity. So let's quickly walk through Goku's power in GT. All of these jumps are from Super Saiyan 3 Goku vs Kid Buu in terms of Dragon Ball raw power increase.
I disagreed with the majority of his arguments, so yeah. I made necessary tweaks to the end of the baby saga to make Goku even stronger. I'm only human laughs.
During the 28th Budokai Tenkaichi, Goku said they may not even win the tournament. Base Goku would fight against an angry Oob, and even though he was untrained, Oob was everything Goku expected him to be in terms of power, and being the reincarnation of Buu. Oob's raw power is relevant to Kid Buu.
I do agree with that he was base level, but just remember this, Oob did not have full grasp of his powers. He probably did have all Kid Buu's power, his max power, but the thing is, Kid Buu knew how to use it, so he was able to draw it out 100%. I don't think Oob in that tournament when he fought against Goku was drawing it out 100%. I think when Goku went and trained him in, on Kami's Lookout and one of the hyperbolic time travel and stuff like that, he he was able to draw out that hidden and latent potential power of what's the thing called, Kid Buu, out to the forefront. And the reason why I'm saying this is because people are going to assume that, oh, he had that full power 100% right there, and Goku just made him even stronger. For me personally, I think that he had it, but it was in like the potential and the reserves. He couldn't really pull it out of it, and Goku training him was able to pull it out. Though I do still think Goku made him stronger and past, Kid Buu's level of power. I don't think he started at Kid Buu's level of power 100% and then got stronger. I think he started at a lower level. Goku had to train him to get him out of that to reach Kid Buu's level, then surpassed him. But I wouldn't say that much, by that much.
If Goku grew 400 times in 10 years of peace by training alone or training with others far less powerful than himself, it's reasonable to suggest Goku grew around 200 times in 5 years after End of Z, when training with a being stronger than Buu.
I agree. Start of GT Super Saiyan Goku 10,000 times. Wait, how did he get 10,000? I never get. Oh yeah, he basically. I forgot what he did. I think he multiplied the. Okay, yeah, he multiplied the 200 times the 50, that's where he got the 10,000. Okay, that makes sense then.
During the Black Star Saga, Goku encounters Lord Lude. Goku and Trunks both went Super Saiyan and were still overwhelmed by level 3 Lord Lude.
Which I still think dumb that the big mechanical machine can handle Super Saiyan Goku and Trunks.
Months pass after Lord Lude, and Goku encounters the Sigma Force, where he states it has been a while since he fought someone as awesome as him, and destroys them in base form.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say that they were level 3 of Lord Lude because they didn't show any power on that level of Lude itself. The only reason they were able to destroy him was because Goku and Pan simultaneously, attacked from the inside of him and the outside of him into his core to destroy him. Those other guys, they didn't seem that powerful, and it wouldn't make any sense for them to be that powerful. And just because the problem I have with a lot of people, they go with statements too much, and I'll be talking about this in my Dragon Ball Superheroes power scaling video. Big problem I have with a lot of Dragon Ball fans is they take these statements too much, too serious, and too literal. This happens with any power scaling fan when they hear something like, oh, this character has boundless power, infinite this and that, and then they run with it. But it's like, sometimes these statements aren't as literal as you think, or they're just written in just for fun or whatever. Him stating that he hasn't fought an enemies this powerful for a while doesn't necessarily mean that they are on Lude's level, That could just be a statement. Unless they've proven or shown that they are on his level, I highly doubt it. Wait, he got 500,000. Oh, with Super Saiyan. Oh wait, how did Goku go from 10,000 in Super Saiyan to 500,000? Basically, meaning that he got like a 50 times power increase just naturally. Yeah, my math right. Yeah, that should be 50 times. So you're telling me from the beginning of GT where they were going on the travels to all the way to there, he got 50 times stronger in his base. Though the mathematics and calculations he gets way more ridiculous, I don't know where he got the 50 times stronger from. I think it's because he did the Lude is this powerful and stuff like that. But even with those math, it was just it wasn't very consistent.
Goku encounters Baby for the first time, and it's stated Baby already absorbed the power of Lord Lude whilst in containment.
Once again, one of my biggest problems I had with his power scaling, besides the fact that he ignored, inconsistencies or just statements, or didn't try to look at, the plot what the plot was conveying. My biggest problem was his headcanons and misconceptions, especially in the Baby Saga. Because if you look throughout, his catalog where the power scaling went off the rails, it does go off the rails later on in his other ones, but it really, really started, and the big thing that escalated to that level was the Baby saga because of his argument of every time Baby goes into somebody's body and takes their energy and gets out, he absorbs the total sum of their power and then adds it on in his parasite form, and then additionally onto his host form where he's taking over a host's body. And then on top of that, when he goes into the host body like Vegeta, he's able to get stronger by Vegeta replenishing his energy and then reabsorbing it. Basically, let's say he's like 10,000, just put a number like 10,000, Baby absorbs that 10,000, and then Vegeta is able to regain that 10,000 again. So he keeps on absorbing 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, which made the numbers ridiculous. But the problem with that was those were headcanon. First of all, it never stated that when he did invade their body that he took the total sum of their power. All it stated was he takes their power. Yes, it makes sense, and I'm not saying that he doesn't take their energy. I don't think it takes all of their energy. I don't think just because he inhabits somebody's body that has 10,000 and he goes in and then he leaves, he takes 100, all that 10,000 with him. I think he takes like a fraction of their power and adds it onto his, getting him stronger. And the argument that I made for this was when later on when Goku and Trunks and Pan were going on their journey to get the rest of the Dragon Balls, and he was heading towards the Earth, he invaded one of this this plane with a bunch of people in it, and he absorbed all their energy. He was absorbing their energy, and then he came to Earth and he started absorbing the energy of humans. And just from that energy alone, from a couple of those people and those humans, he was able to handle and deal with Goten pretty well, and he was also holding back significantly against him, which he assumed that no, Goten was strong as him. No, he was holding back. So my argument right there was there's nothing to suggest that he absorbed 100% of all their power. It's just that he absorbed a fraction, because if he did 100%, remember, he absorbed a couple of people from the ship, which were low-level people and people from Earth, yet somehow he was able to evolve from his little baby form to his, his like first form one where he has like the jack and stuff and looking more like a teenager, but also he got significantly more powerful. So it showcases that their power does not correlate exactly with the amount of energy that they have. I think he just can evolve and get stronger by depending on, it does obviously depend on who he's going in. The more power they have, the more energy he can get, but he doesn't really require 100% of that, because if that was the case, he wouldn't have had enough power from the people that he was absorbing at that point. He wouldn't have had enough power to get the significant jump in power that he had now. So yeah, I just don't believe it. I don't think that, and that's why it became ridiculous, because he invaded a lot of people's bodies. So by his argument, he took all of their power 100%, and then even in parasite form, and then went to host and got it, and then got replenished multiple times, which that is complete headcanon. They never stated that these characters regenerate their power completely, and then he absorbs all that power that got regenerated. So I don't agree with the Baby's saga's calculations the most. I think that's where they went the most off rail, because he just added them on. He had to lose 10,000 power to him as a baby when, let's be honest, he was nowhere near that powerful. There's nothing to indicate that he was as when he was in his little baby form, that he was as strong as Lord Lude. There's nothing that suggested that he was strong as Lude at all, So I don't agree with that one. I don't agree with this calculation that Baby's 10,000.
And is stated to absorb the power of the vessel he is in and then add it to his own power. This is what a parasite does. It feeds. And it was stated General Ruler's power was then absorbed.
Yes, it states that it absorbs the power, but the problem is he's saying it absorbs 100% of their power. So like, if Goku has a power level 5 million, he goes in and he absorbs all the 5 million power into his body. But I think that he just absorbs a bit of their energy, like how Cell was absorbing the biomass of the people. He wasn't absorbing their power and stuff. He was just absorbing some energy that they could spare. Same thing in this regard. I don't think he's absorbing the total sum of their power, just a fraction of it. Because there's nothing. Because then it gets too ridiculous. Look at this.
More months pass and Baby arrives on Earth only to be confronted by Goten. Goten's base form is a match for Baby, but Baby lures him into becoming Super Saiyan, as it's easier to take over a body that's powering up.
Both wrong. He over-exaggerated Goten and a lot of characters' powers that shouldn't have got exaggerated because of this logic. One, he stated that Baby made him go into his Super Saiyan form. That showcases that Baby was strong enough to handle his base. It was just that he wanted him to go into his Super Saiyan form so he could, obtain it. And I'll go more onto it, but I want to talk about that statement where he made, where he said it's easier to go, invade the body of a Super Saiyan. Nope, that's incorrect. He invaded Trunks' body pretty easily when he was in space, but once when he went Super Saiyan, he powered him out of his body. So that 100% disapproves that argument. Them going Super Saiyan isn't make it easier for him. It actually makes it harder for him. It's just at this point he had enough energy and was so much stronger than Goten that he was holding back a lot to the point that even when he does go Super Saiyan, it wouldn't be enough for it wouldn't be enough to hold baby back off. And it makes sense because Trunks was continuously training and fighting with Goku and stuff, whereas Goten was just focusing on the ladies. I don't know how you're gonna get stronger from just going on dates. We saw what happened with Gohan and Dragon Ball Z, where he didn't focus on training and he only focused on studies, and he lost a significant amount of power. So there's no way that he can get stronger from not training. That's not how it works. But yeah, he's stating that the Super Saiyan form is easier. No, Trunks proved that that's wrong, and that's important for this argument because what I'm trying to argue is that Trunks is not that strong. The only reason that he was able to give Baby any pushback was the fact that Baby was holding back because he was trying to bait him. He was trying to make him think that, hey, this guy's a threat and I have to stop him, but he's not too much of a threat where I can't handle him. Because if he's too much of a threat, he can't handle him, he might run away or get somebody else to help him out. But if he thinks he can handle him, but he just requires more power, then he will just power up to Super Saiyan, and then he can jump on it. And since Trunks going Super Saiyan pushed him out, Goten going Super Saiyan, he could invade it. Why? Because Goten in Super Saiyan form is not that powerful. He is significantly weaker. So his argument is saying he was holding back Baby and hurting him. No. Baby was holding back his power, and the only reason he was able to do anything was because Baby was trying to bait him to use Super Saiyan. He could absorb it, he could go into his base form, but he wouldn't get the max amount of power that he could get, and potentially he could get if he went into his most powerful form. So that's why he's trying to make him go in Super Saiyan. Also, he was kind of test out, how much more powerful he got, because when he tried to invade Trunks' body, he went Super Saiyan and pushed him out. He wants to see now if he invades another Super Saiyan's body, but a weaker one, can he control it now? Which it did happen. And like I said, he absorbed only the power from a couple of other people. So how was he able to go into Goten's body? It doesn't matter about the power he gets, who he goes into. It just matters about how many people's bodies he invades. But yeah, I don't agree that Baby Vegeta, that base Trunks is 510,000 times. 510,000 times stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Kid Buu. I don't agree with that. I just think Baby was holding back and trying to trick him into go Super Saiyan so he could take over his body. So these mathematical calculations, especially for Goten, I don't agree with. He's making it sound like Baby was, struggling and stuff. No, Baby was playing with him.
Before jumping to a new host, Baby absorbs the power of the vessel he is in, which in this case, Goten's power is added.
Not the total sum. Nothing is suggested that he absorbs their full power. Just a bit of it, enough to make him, more significantly powerful. I mean, Super Saiyan Gohan should be stronger than Super Saiyan Goten. I'm ignoring all these numbers because, I reproved my point in the other videos and this one.
Vessels that Baby leaves do not retain a Baby boost. The Baby boost only applies to the body that the baby parasite currently occupies. Eggs keep the rest under control, and there are no stated buffs for eggs.
So this is important to take because he's saying once when he exits out of their body and invades another body, he leaves the eggs, which leaves them still mind control, but they don't get the power boost. So basically, their power level that shot up because of him being invading their body, now it's gone back down to normal levels. And that's important because I want to mention this later on in the video.
Weeks pass and Goku finally arrives on Earth with all Black Star balls. Goku demonstrates a new level of base power, but baby Vegeta also demonstrates a new level of power compared to weeks ago.
It makes no sense for Goku to get stronger. Even if weeks passed, we saw what he did throughout those weeks. He was just going to countless planets that had no real threat and danger in there. He was getting Dragon Ball from like some giant cat thingy that he was running away from for some reason because I guess it was going to hurt him or something. He went to countless other planets where there was no real danger or threat. So there was no reason for, no logical reason and way that Goku would get stronger through this journey weeks after because he wasn't being challenged in any sort of way. So for him to say that he gets ridiculously more powerful because he put Goten and Gohan in a high level of power, which I already explained, Baby was holding back, and he makes it think that Baby was, that powerful. I don't think Goten was that powerful. Baby was definitely holding back, meaning that Goten's power is probably the same as normal as it should be, and Gohan, but he put it on a high level simply because, he didn't know what he was talking about. And also the full-on total absorption of power, I don't agree with that also. I think Baby absorbs a bit of it, because Super Saiyan Gohan was able to handle him, which also I will still say, even Super Saiyan Gohan handling him was most likely due to Baby, holding back once again. Because he wanted to invade his body, not destroy it. Yeah, I don't agree that he got that much stronger because let's be honest, there's nothing that showed that Super Saiyan Goten and Gohan were significantly stronger. I think they were actually weaker. Definitely Gohan. Gohan is weaker than his counterpart from Z because he can't even go to his Mystic form. The highest form he can go in Super Saiyan. Not even Super Saiyan 2, just Super Saiyan. So yeah, I wouldn't put him as stronger. How do you get stronger but lose Super Saiyan 2 and your Mystic form? If you gotten stronger, you should be keeping these higher levels of power. Remember, if you are stronger, you can obtain those higher levels of transformations. If you cannot obtain those higher levels of transformations, you definitely got weaker. So yeah, I think his logic is incorrect in this, and he overscaled both Super Saiyan Gohan and Goten to make them so high up, and then saying, well, base Goku could handle them, so he's stronger. But I think it's just base Goku barely got stronger, and these guys were just weak, and he just misunderstood the logic of it. So I don't take any of these multipliers into consideration too much. I think it has some validity to it, but not to the extent that he's trying to make it out to be. I'm gonna just skip these stuff.
Then absorbs the
Baby. Okay.
Power of Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Buller. After absorbing this power in a ritual, he becomes Super Baby and Super Baby 2. In guides, this is stated to be Vegeta's Super Saiyan 2 and theoretical Super Saiyan 3 transformations.
I want to say Super Saiyan 3 because, like I said, he never shown it when he needed to. Like when he was fighting as Super 17, he was only Super Saiyan 2. He could have gone Super Saiyan 3. I'm just going to skip these. I'm going to go to the
Parasite Baby inside of Vegeta's body would continue to feed off Vegeta's new level of power. We can finally add Vegeta's power onto the Parasite body as the Parasite continues to get stronger. Official dialogue.
Even if the Parasite does get strong, which he definitely did, but that does not mean that his power every time it would replenish and he would absorb the total sum. That's where it also gets even more ridiculous when it gets, multiplying the power. Because now he's multiplying his power by, Max Vegeta's stats over and over again, which is, millions of times now. It keeps on getting millions of times stronger within whatever amount of time. So I don't agree with that. He definitely, most likely, since Vegeta was a stronger opponent that he had absorbed, he probably couldn't absorb his power fully right away. So it took more time to do it for him, and that's why he got stronger. His power was growing as he was invading Vegeta's body, because I think he invaded Vegeta's body in his base, if I'm correct. He invaded, whereas Trunks and Goten, he invaded their bodies in their Super Saiyan forms. He only invaded his body in his base form. So his weakest side, because if he went Super Saiyan 2, he couldn't be able to handle them. So he invaded his weakest form, and then, he started to build up from going from his base to Super Saiyan 1 to 2. I don't think the theoretical third one, I don't really agree with that. I think that was just Baby's power. But I think he was just adapting and learning more to his power instead of him just absorbing more of Vegeta's power, multiplying it every time.
Super Saiyan. Goku regains his tail. It's stated he did not gain any more power whilst as a Super Saiyan 3 against Baby, but after becoming a Golden Uzaru, he can tank Baby and push him back with ease. By 1000, Baby becomes a Golden Uzaru as well. He is fueled by 1000 times more Brutes waves than what is needed for a normal Golden Uzaru. It's stated Baby is unnaturally overloaded. Brutes waves grant power, as shown when they refuel Baby's power. Fighters can stack power onto their own. Therefore, it's Golden Uzaru times 1000.
I also disagreed with this one and the other one because the reason why he needed 1,000 times more than the other one was simply because Goku already had a tail, so he didn't require that much to activate his ape form because he had the tail with it. You use the tail to, there's glands in the tail that has been stated where they absorb the Blue waves and then it transforms them. Whereas him, he didn't have that, so he needed more Blue waves to be pumped into him to be able to turn him into an ape without a tail. It's harder to do it without a tail, so it probably required more Blitz waves. And two, I never stated that the Blitz waves makes him stronger, or if it's 1,000 times more than that, it equals out to being 1,000 times stronger. His argument is, well, it replenished his energy. Well, maybe it's because he was, losing his, ape form, and even if it replenished his energy, healing him back up, that does not mean that it makes him more stronger, It just means that it makes him back to what he was before. The 1,000 times thing, I think he takes it out of context and says, well, it's 1,000 times boost wave, so that means he gets 1,000 times stronger. I don't think there's anything that suggests that he got 1,000 times stronger in his ape form. It's just that Baby naturally was stronger than Goku, and Goku, when he went to his ape form, he got the additional boost of power, whereas him, he was already up higher than him, but now he was underneath him. Once when he got his ape form, he went above him. It had nothing to do with 1,000 boost waves.
Powered by different multipliers. The Gallic gun is shown to be times 3, the Kamehameha is 2.2 times, the 10 times Kamehameha is 22 times, and Baby's Super Gallic gun rivaled that in battle.
I will say this, I do agree with his argument that different attacks use different types of multipliers. We definitely know that when they use a higher attacks like a Kamehameha, they condense the energy into a smaller, finer point, which raises up their power higher than their normal power level, basically meaning that they can dish out more than they can take. So if they could take a planet-destroying attack, the amount of energy they're able to release is more than a planet-destroying attack, because, the more they condense it, the higher it goes. We've seen this with Raditz when he's checking this, scatter, and it was able to find out, and that's official too, even if you don't want to take, power levels into consideration. It has been stated in the guides that officially that, them condensing the energy makes it stronger, and different techniques have different levels of power. I use this argument about the Frieza destroying Planet Namek compared to destroying Planet Vegeta. Planet Vegeta, even though it would be harder with the higher amount of gravity 10 times, and possibly bigger, it would require more power to destroy than Namek. But Namek, he didn't even fully bust it, he just destroyed the core, whereas Vegeta, he busted the planet. And that was due to him using different techniques. And when he destroyed Vegeta, even though he was in a weaker state, he used his Supernova, whereas another one he used his Death Ball, or just, I think it was a generic energy attack, where it requires different levels of power. So yes, different moves have different levels of power. We see this with Kamehameha and the Tri-Beam. The Tri-Beam, stated by Master Roshi, makes a Kamehameha look like dog piss. So it is completely weaker. I don't know if Gallic Gun is stronger than Kamehameha. He was using the argument from, I think, when they first fought, but that was possibly because Vegeta normally had a high level of power, and it took less to condense his power and stuff. So yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about the multiplications of it to this degree, but I do agree with it being stronger in different forms and levels. So yeah, obviously it has been shown that they get stronger with their attacks. It multiplies, but we don't have a specific multiplier. I think he just kind of made this up as a headcanon to amplify the attack potency. But I wouldn't say it's too ridiculous to that fact.
Becomes full power Super Saiyan 4. The Saiyans only replenish his lost ki, but Goku gets stronger. He absorbs Baby's final attack. In guides, it's stated you can negate attacks by emitting 2 times the power. Baby spammed Super Gallic guns, but they all failed, meaning the final Revenge Death Ball is at least a 22 times more.
A couple of stuff there. First, let's talk about the whole 2 times multiplier stated. It was never stated in the guide. I read it when he put it up. It didn't state 2 times. It didn't state anything like that. I don't know where he got the exact number of 2 times. Though I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm just saying that the guides was not showcasing that. He also said that they only replenished his power fully and he somehow got stronger. I don't agree with that either. This ritual, like what happened with Baby, even though Baby was significantly more powerful than the people that were giving him energy, it didn't matter. The ritual and the way of adding on their energy to him would get you more ridiculously powerful. Yes, he needed his energy replenished since he was completely drained, and it needed to get him back up fully. But that doesn't mean that he can't get stronger from getting replenished that way, because we don't know how these energy transferal ritual stuff works. We don't know that if it just replenishes and stuff, and it wouldn't make sense. Where did he get that power from then? If all he did was replenish his regular, how did he get stronger? I think his body, he adapted to it more, to Super Saiyan 4, because he just newly acquired it, and it was unleashing more of his full power, especially with the ritual. It helped push it. I think that's what happened right there. He said he's spamming Gal Guns and it failed. And then he said that the Revenge Death Ball is 22 times stronger because of the Kamehameha times 10. I guess you can argue that. I don't know if I'll say that specifically, but he could definitely argue that.
Months pass until the Super 17 arc. Majub attacks Super 17 from behind. Super 17 is left over.
I don't think he's right about the timeline. It was not months. From what I remember, after the Baby thing, it took like a week or two they had left for the Dragon Balls to get it to, basically revive everybody, fix everything up and stuff. And then I'm pretty sure like a week after 17 just got back with the whole health thing with Dr. Mew and what's the thing called, Dr. Dro. I could be wrong, but I don't think months passed. At most, I would say a month, but I think at most it was like a couple of weeks. I wouldn't say months passed. That's too much.
But does not even flinch, which puts his starting power at least 2 times Majub. Goku soon arrives and becomes Super Saiyan 1. He punches Super 17 across the planet, but still struggles with his power. Super Android 17 absorbs the full power of Goku's 10 times Kamehameha, and it's stated the power of that attack is added onto his own level of power.
Now that I do agree with. The Baby one, the Parasite, like there's nothing suggested that he absorbs the total sum of their power. It just said it absorbs some power. That could mean a fraction of it, and it would be more realistic to do that, because then they won't have to do ridiculous jumps and make inconsistencies stuff. They can control the narrative however they want. Like with Spirit Bomb, the Spirit Bomb, they never stated the total amount of power they get. They usually fluctuate it. They keep it, they don't tell you it for the specific reason of they want to control the narrative of the Spirit Bomb. They want, like, if it's like a situation where it's very dangerous, they want to make it super OP. And then when it's a situation where it's not enough, they want to depower it. So it really fluctuates depending on the writing itself. But I do agree that 17, when he absorbs an attack, he absorbs the total sum, because he's literally, he has abilities of absorption and stuff. So it makes sense. He's standing and absorbing the attack.
An open Super Set. Majub constantly attacked an open Super 17 from behind, which did no damage. When Super 17 is absorbing Android 18's energy blasts, he is open once again. Just because 17 is open, Goku's attack must still rival Super 17 to penetrate his body, because Majub's failed. Goku is weakened and can't lift a finger.
Let me talk about this problems, because this is also another one where he over-exaggerated and got it incorrect what he was saying. He stated that, what happened with him against, his sister, Android 18, and what happened with, with Majub is the same thing, which is not. What happened with Majub is he got the power, once when he transformed, he got the power, he was checking out himself like how Cell did, and allowed himself to get attacked like how also Cell did. He was getting attacked and it was tanking it because he was just too powerful and it did nothing to him. It wasn't that he was caught off guard or, he got an opening. It's he allowed it to happen because they were not a threat. He just got super powerful. Whereas in the 18 one, he was doing a technique and absorbing it so he can leave himself wide open and make himself weaker for it and more susceptible for damage. Because the other one, he was, he didn't care about Maju. Why would he? He was there to fight and take them out. And at this time, he had lost full control to his other side and when he fused and stuff. Whereas the other one, he had an emotional connection with his sister and he wanted to lose. And Goku even mentioned that he did that on purpose. He could have won and stuff, but he allowed himself to be open. One is he's not open. He's just allowing attacks to hit him, but he's still because he's strong enough and he knows he can handle it. And if he couldn't, he probably would have just raised up a shield and made himself more durable. But he could handle it. Whereas 18's one, he intentionally made himself weaker. He used a move that would absorb energy, and we know when characters use moves, their bodies are completely vulnerable. Like for example, Raccoon, when he was doing his power and Goku hit him in the elbow, he hit him in his more weakened state. Goku still could have taken him out without the weakened state, but that weakened state definitely and that opening definitely allowed him to damage him easier. And it's like basically saying, well, what Raccoon did and what Cell did are exactly the same thing. No, they're not. Cell did not do the exact same thing. He was not in the middle of an attack that would lower his power and weaken him. He was still fully powerful. He just didn't acknowledge their attacks because they're not powerful enough to hurt him. Whereas this one, they were literally opening themselves up and making themselves weaker or doing something that would weaken them. Also, he mentions how Goku was in a weakened state and couldn't lift up a finger, but acts as if that 17 took no damage from it. The amount of power that he had from the beginning was what he had then, which is incorrect. When Goku jumped on him to do the self-destruct thing, he created a barrier to protect himself from, getting completely destroyed. Now this barrier protected him, but it also protected Goku. It stopped Goku from dying because Goku should have been obliterated, but by doing this barrier, it saved his life, though it severely weakened him. And even though the barrier protected him from dying also, it was not enough to protect him completely from the damage. It was just enough to protect him from dying and still having a significant amount of power. He definitely had more power than Goku, but he was stronger than Goku too still at that point. That's why Goku was opting out for the explosion. So he's trying to make it sound like he had full power. I don't think so. I think 17 was also severely damaged, lost a ton of his power that he had absorbed. He was heavily damaged. You see that he has marks on his body. He was heavily damaged. The only difference is that since he had higher power than Goku, it didn't do as much as significant damage to him as it did to Goku, but he still got significant damage. And with him leaving himself wide open, he also made himself more vulnerable and made himself more susceptible to damage. Especially when you use an attack, you become weaker because you're using that, or a move, you're using that energy on something else. So his argument is, the Dragon Fist is so powerful because he was able to take him out in full power even though Goku was literally at 0. But he's acting like 17's at full power 100%. No. I think 17 also took a very big dip in his power. Maybe not to the level of Goku, but still enough to the point where he's nowhere near as powerful as he was. So he ignored that and made this whole narrative where he was full powered and he was able to handle it.
Yeah.
Totally incorrect. See, he says 10% power. Who's to say that Android 18 wasn't 20% of power because it still did hurt him? He was in 100% definitely.
Shenron, Ice, and Oceanus are irrelevant for scaling, but Rage Shenron is critical. He defeats Super Saiyan 4 Goku and even tanks his 10 times Kamehameha. Rage only lost because the rain caused him to over...
No, he did not tank the thing. Tanking means you get hit by it and you can handle it. What he did was his body, like I said in that video, it was like some goopy form where even if he did blow it up, he would just splatter all over the place like what happened with Shenron. But what he did was he had his body catch the attack, hold it in, stop it from blowing up, and threw it at him. Let's say if Goku fired it at him and detonated the explosion off of him. If he detonated the explosion, it would have disintegrated him, completely killing him. But he did not. He just shot it, he caught it inside the body, and threw it at him. He didn't tank it because it didn't explode. Now, if it exploded inside of him and he was able to handle it, then yes, you can say he was stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku and could tank his 10 times Kamehameha. But right now, it's just that his body was made to hold it in, prevent it from exploding, and then fired it back at Goku, taking him out of his, his Super Saiyan 4 state. So I don't agree with Rage being that powerful. There's nothing to suggest it that he was that powerful.
States that Nova is far stronger than the previously defeated dragons. This includes Rage Shenron. Goku doesn't know Nova can transform at the point he first gauges his power. However, Goku in his base form can put up a decent fight against...
Okay, a couple of things here. Nova is definitely the strongest, but the problem here is he's comparing him to, Rage, and he gave him that ridiculous power boost because of that, that feat. But like I said, I already just proven it, and I showed why that isn't the case. If he did explode it and took it, then yeah, you can say, but that's not how it worked. So no, Rage is not that powerful. What he's trying to say is Nova's the strongest, so look at the level of power Rage has, what he could do. So if Nova's stronger than him, then his stats are even higher. But I don't think Rage shown anything on that level. And what he did simply was he held the blast because of how his body was made and fired it back at him. He didn't tank the attack. So I wouldn't hit that feat as anything crazy with a multiplier on him. So Nova is stronger, but we don't know how much, how strong he is. Also, he states that Goku in his base form was able to put up a decent fight against Nova in his non-transformed state. No, he was not. Goku was legit running away from Nova the entire time. The only reason he was able to get hits or do anything onto Nova was because he was being strategic. He was hiding underground in the sewers, and every moment, he was looking around for him, he would get up, shoot him, and then go back down like, in the whack-a-mole games. He was basically doing whack-a-mole, blasting him from different ranges, but it wasn't doing anything to him. All it was trying to hold him back and keep him at bay, because when he did have to go against him face-to-face, Goku couldn't do anything. When he was hiding or playing tricks or doing some more devious stuff, and it was kind of more cartoonish, it was more to be ridiculous and I guess comedic, but when he was doing that stuff, that was the only time he did anything, but it wasn't really hurting him. But once when he was face to face with Nova in his non-transformed state, Nova was using this lens thingy that was using the heat of the sun to burn him, and he was severely hurting Goku and would have killed him until he went Super Saiyan 4, and then he transformed. But yeah, prior to that, Goku was only able to do something and not even significantly hurt him by hiding and being tricky. But once when it was face to face and no more hiding and he had to, he couldn't. He was outmatched and would have died if he didn't transform. So I don't agree that base Goku could put up a decent fight against Nova. I just think that they're just trying to have some fun. Like, oh look, he's hiding. He's like whack-a-mole. He's going here and there.
Goku launches a point-blank. Sin Shenron arrives. Goku launches a point-blank full power 10 times Kamehameha, and Sin doesn't even flinch from it. Sin is at least twice the power of that attack.
I agree with this one now. Unlike the Rage one where he said he tanked the 10 times Kamehameha, I don't agree with that. But I do agree with Sin Shenron taking it because he actually took the explosion. It didn't just stop and stuff. He tanked the explosion. That's how he could he can tank the attack when it explodes, and he was able to handle it. So I don't consider that one. Also, by his logic, and especially with him saying that base Goku was able to put up a fight against, weakened state, a non-transformed, Nova, which he didn't. This means that Goku got significantly more powerful within literally no time that passed, within like a day or two. I don't agree with that. That is just stupid power scaling, and it makes no sense. And there's more reasonable points to it. One, Rage didn't tank it. He just stopped it because of how his body was designed and fired back at him. And then Nova Shenron, he wasn't actually being able to handle him in his base. It was just that he was hiding and he was doing tricky moves, and they weren't even damaging him. Once he did fight him face to face, he was gonna die. So no.
Power and adds it to his base. Goku then takes the Saiyan's power and adds it to his base. He then becomes Ultra Full Power Saiyan 4. This level of power heavily dominates Sin Shenron. Not tank, but heavily dominate.
I want to say ultra full power. I just think this is a full power. Like I stated, the way he obtained the full power in the Baby Saga was an unnatural means through the absorption stuff. And the reason why I say this is because when he does go to his full powered state, he has this red glowing aura around his body. So his body's encompassed with like a red type of aura. I guess you can say cloaking his body, right? That's what happened when he powered up. But after that, throughout when he was trying to save the people on Earth and when he was fighting against Super 17, And throughout the fights in the Shadow Dragons arc, he did not show that same glow. That same glow was this one indicated as one full powered form. But throughout those other fights, even when he was fighting against stronger opponents like 17, he did not have that glow, meaning that full powered state is not a natural state for him. It's only a state that can be obtained through absorption from other Saiyans and their power. But naturally, he only has a normal Super Saiyan 4 level. So by him putting ultra full power, basically meaning he obtained the full power from that first time, and then had the ultra. It became even more above that. But personally, I just think that he went from his full power state because of the ritual, and then after that he went back to a normal Super Saiyan 4 state, and now him going through this, he's going back to that full power state that he went in the Baby Saga, instead of being in altered form.
Which would be around 1.75 times Sin Shenron. But then Sin becomes Omega and is stated to be more than 10 times stronger than before.
Yeah, that I agree. But it just showcases why his math is not correct, because Omega Shenron, going from Sin to Omega, he got significantly more powerful, and he absorbed all the other Dragon Balls, which would have a lot more power added to him, but he only got like 10 times or a little bit more than 10 times stronger. But then he's saying these other guys are getting hundreds, millions, billions of times stronger simply by, not even training, not even fighting, just by existing. Somehow these guys are getting strong within these short amount of time periods, and from each other fight, from barely doing anything. But he absorbs it and he gets significantly more powerful, and it's only a 10 times power boost, showing to me that maybe the multipliers are more moderate, like 2 to 5, 6 times, like how it normally was in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And he's getting these smaller ones, and these smaller multipliers are enough to give you a significant power boost. You don't need to get millions and billions to get it. Because if you're getting that level, it's like your level's above to the point where you're like dimensions apart.
Works well in conjunction. Saiyan 4 Gogeta is formed. A consistent fusion multiplier that works well in conjunction with multiple source materials from Dragon Ball is by adding the strongest forms of two characters together.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
But it is his strong. The multiplier of Omega Shenron's minus energy ball is unknown, but it is his strongest attack, where it took the power of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta to deflect it. The negative energy ball is stated to be similar in concept to Baby's Revenge Death Ball, and opposite of Spirit Bomb energy. A 22 times multiplier is reasonable.
I guess so. I'm not gonna disagree with that.
During the Spirit Bomb, a weakened Goku undergoes a change. He gains a white aura and appears invincible, tanking Omega Shenron's minus energy ball without flinching, making him twice as strong, at least. This is Goku's change state that makes him the god of Dragon Ball, the strongest Goku of all.
Let's go into that change form. I did talk about it last time, and I was wrong. They did state it, but I do think it's a lazy cop out for the writers to be like, "Well, Goku should be dead, and they're gonna lose." Sorry for that. Somebody's coming in. The garage is opening, but they were supposed to lose, right? And they just the writers like, you know what? Let's just make him win, but let's not give any good reasoning because we can't really write anything because we're hacks. So what they did was they wrote this BS thing. But even let's talk about this. That. They're saying, oh, he got this godly power. I just think that the power scaling was just completely inconsistent, and that was kind of a cover-up. And the reason why I say this was when Goku detransitions back to his base form, which he's in, his kid state, Vegeta also goes back into just his Super Saiyan 2 form. They both lose their Super Saiyan 4s, and Shenron is still quite powerful, and he's trying to attack them, and then he fires a Karma energy ball, and Goku not only is able to hold the energy ball, but also push it back. And not only is he pushing this back, but Omega's trying to push it back too, so now he's fighting back the energy attack and his force that he's putting into it, but also Omega Shenron started putting more energy into it, so the attack got stronger and it got bigger, and he was putting more energy to it. And guess what? Goku was still able to push it back and completely destroy it and tank the destruction of it. So I just think it's an inconsistency and more like it's bad writing and that it doesn't make sense. So I wouldn't take these quote-unquote feats too literal because they're very inconsistent. And another example I have for this was when Vegeta turns into his ape form. He turns into a regular ape form, and he's hurting Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He catches him and starts crushing him, and you see Goku in pain and screaming. Some of you can say, well, Goku's probably holding back, but that doesn't mean he has to let him catch him. He could have flown around, he could have broke out of his grip, and even if he did get him his grip, he's still just, regular ape form. How is he able to hurt him? Even if he squeezed him, his body shouldn't have felt it. He should have been like squeezing steel, It shouldn't have been anything. So it showcases that, and the reason why I mention that is to showcase that the power scaling in this show is very inconsistent and it doesn't make any sense, and you shouldn't take everything too literal.
Goku is seen once again, and it's stated he continued training with Shenlong for 100 years. We can apply two different growth multipliers to calculate 100 years time skip Goku. If he grew 400 times in 10 years, then 4,000 times. Or we can apply his growth during the 1.5 years during the events of Dragon Ball GT, dividing his end of GT base form by his start of GT base form, and work it out for 100 years. Very little on it in terms of lore. There is information from official source material that helps connect some dots. But let's look at the Heroes manga for a second, which came out before Dragon Ball Super, but it's an entirely different continuity than GT, and non-canon to the ZGT verse, but it's still official.
I mean, that's a little weird to use, because I'm pretty sure this is a game, definitely, but I think it's an arcade game all the way in Japan. And the whole point of Heroes, which we've seen with the the new anime that came out, is basically there's no limits to it. They just try to do like the coolest stuff by mixing stuff in. Which I don't know why people are shitting on the Heroes anime, saying the power scaling makes no sense. It's not made to make sense. The whole point of it is a promotional thing. It's for a game and it's supposed to be for fun. People that take that serious are stupid. It's like it's a what if type of scenario. It's not like Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, where it's supposed to be part of the story, and that's why the power scaling matters. But that doesn't matter. But yeah,
the Dragon Realm or Shadow Dragon
it's hard to
Realm
take this
shown in
serious.
the Dragon Ball Heroes Victory Mission manga made by Toyotaro. It's the nest in where the Shadow Dragons live. We can't really.
Also, the problem with using this is considered. People use this a lot. They say this is the most powerful version of Goku is called the I think Xeno Goku. And Xeno Goku is supposed to be the video game one where they mix in all these power levels and have ridiculous feats and stuff. So their powers and the feats and stuff in there is absurd, beyond anything we've seen in Dragon Ball. And they don't follow any logic. They don't need to because it's just for fun. But people take this serious. And if he's going to be using this, then yeah, I'm sorry, but that's BS. Because you're using something that's not even official from something that's a source that's supposed to be ridiculous. And the power scaling is already high and ridiculous. People rank him as super powerful. So using this is not very reasonable.
From this because
it doesn't have to do
with the video game world. But one thing that is quite hilarious is that the Shadow Dragons within that game were able to escape and affect the universe of the living world. What does that make the Shadow Dragons in terms of power? Well, they are GT characters after all, but I'll leave that one up to you. There was also this wiki page about the Dragon Realm, about it not possessing any known laws of physics present in the 12 universes, and no deities have access to it. Unfortunately, this is a fan wiki, and we cannot use that either. But that would have solidified Goku's 5D after leaving with Shenron because...
But that, you even said yourself that they don't connect, and that universe is not, really, like, serious one, so... Why are you using this? What's the point of using something that doesn't count, It's just stupid. It's like people using, when they talk about a character, like, oh, I'm going to use the non-canon version. Like, you're using non-canon feats for a canon character. It's just ridiculous. I'm not saying that's for this case because GT Goku's not canon, but it's not still even in that same continuity.
Others cannot get to or exist there due to it having no known laws of the universe present. That would be insane, but we have to be fair here.
Yeah.
We cannot use that.
What's the point of talking about it then?
There is no proof that Shenron took Goku to that dimension exactly. It's not stated in the actual show. But you can piece the source material, lore, and story together yourself to work out that he did. Goku became one with Shenron, which is backed up by the fact we see Goku merge with Shenron and the Dragon Balls, and by the fact Goku granted Goku Jr.'s wish that saved Pan and Puck, who magically appeared together the moment Goku vanished. Very mysterious, isn't it? It just goes to show that Goku's wish potential potential is far greater than regular Shenron due to having only one Dragon Ball and not needing to abide by the rules altogether. I mean, just how strong is he in the...
I mean, it makes sense if Shenron goes based off of the power of the, the creator, like, Kami and Dende. They're not that powerful, so their limitations make sense. But Goku is significantly more powerful, so his limitations should be far less.
Magical sense, which could be used in combat if needed. Now, in an official interview in the Dragon Ball GT DVD box, Dragon Box GT Dragon Book, out of the scripts for all 64 episodes of GT, Atsushi Mikawa wrote the most, with a total of 28 episodes plus the TV special. And he says, and then after that, after he defeats Yi Xinglong and grants the final wish, Goku goes right off with Shenlong and the Dragon Balls to somewhere that people definitely can't get to. Now, in an official Dragon Ball GT interview...
Also, I always found that ending kind of stupid. Like, you do know that Shenron's connected to Dende now. Dende does not have any of that power. Where the hell is Shenron going? Shenron is not a being that's higher than, the Supreme Kais, even the regular Kais, like the King Kais and stuff. He's not a being above that level. He's not a godly being. We've seen where he's at. He got destroyed by, Demon King Piccolo, who's significantly weaker. So where is he going? Obviously, he's such a highly dimensional being. Towards the end of GT1, we've seen he's nothing really special. I think they handled him weird. They made him, for some reason, so OP.
The GT Perfect Files with Goku's Japanese voice actress, it states the scene where after Goku finishes fighting, he rides on Shenlong and says, Shenlong's back sure is warm. That's because riding on Shenlong means that Goku's going to leave this world and go to the world of the gods. I was glad they didn't write it plainly that he died, though. I feel that Goku probably went to Shenlong's place and is training again.
But what's Shenlong's place? He just lives in the Dragon Balls.
They didn't write it plainly that he died.
He was not created without the Namekians.
With the writer, so has more of an understanding than we all do about the behind-the-scenes part. That's what I heavily presume. The fact that she, of all people, said Goku probably went to Shenlong's place and is training again should be extremely reassuring of what happened to Goku, and what the behind-the-scenes really intended for Goku probably means a good chance of. And at the bottom of that interview it states, I believe that Goku is now training at God's place, so someday for sure he'll become an even more wonderful Goku and come back before us, I'm sure of it.
Like
so,
Jesus.
We have Shenlong's place, God's place, world of the gods, and also a place where people definitely cannot get to. So that cancels out the lookout if you thought she was referring to God's place, because that is not exactly Shenlong's place either, and it's not the world of the gods because people can definitely get there. Next, it's not anywhere in the universe. People can get to most places. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Kid Buu have multiple times have been to different dimensions in the universe, even when they are alive. And not one of the dimensions that we typically see, such as Heaven, Supreme Kai's world, none of those are Shenlong's place, or world of the gods that she meant, because Goku could go wherever he wanted. Hell, even Hercule was in the Supreme Kai's world. The human's energy for the Spirit Bomb actually got to the Supreme Kai's world. Goku had gone to a plane inaccessible.
That's why I didn't like this writing that GT people loved it, but it made no sense. First of all, Shenron is not that powerful of a being to go off anywhere. Second of all, he came from the Dragon Balls and was created by, the Namekians. So, if the Namekians don't have that power, where did he get that? Third of all, how is he going to another higher dimension if he gets killed by, if he can get killed by somebody like, Demon King Piccolo? And then on top of it, what is this world of gods? We've seen all the worlds of gods. They just made up some BS, oh, he went to another realm that we can never see and we would never notice. But we've seen all the realms. There's nothing outside of that. There's no other conceptual, realm that is like that. So the gods that we know of the highest in, GT were Supreme Kais, not, gods of destruction. So yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
And could apparently go there once he ascended and joined the dragon. The realm beyond the Kais is Shenlong's place, or we could say the Dragon Realm. So it's reasonable to say Goku went to Shenlong's home there. That's enough reassurance on its own when linking it to Dragon Ball lore. And what can people say? He Dragon Realm, or Shenlong's home, than any other location. It's true we don't know where it is, but we know where it's not.
But I don't think it makes
not
sense.
Anywhere in the universe. By Akira. This model, by a long shot, it's either invisible or inaccessible due to
So yeah, I decided to end the video right there. I thought it was gonna be a little bit. I was able to do a little bit quicker. This one seemed to be like, you know, a little bit. This is gonna be a little bit over an hour, which isn't that long compared to the other ones I've like, you know, other videos that I have on my channel. But I don't want to do it too long, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to the do the rest of the 10 minutes in a part 2, which will be coming up. I'll be uploading today. I just need to recharge my battery because it's kind of running low. So once when I'm done recharging that, I'll film that video and then I'll upload it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna be uploading this one soon. So this is gonna be the end of part 1 of Dragon Ball GT's Dangerous 100 Years time skip ending. And then I'm gonna be uploading part 2 later on today too. And you know, just getting that done. And then that should be the end of the GT saga from Saints Color. So yeah, it's gonna take some time. So see you guys till then.